Hi. Now, while working with a database, have you ever faced a situation where you needed quick totals based on certain categories in Excel? Well, you can do it with the use of some function, but writing formulas manually for each and every category will be a big headache. Now, what if I told you that there's a tool in Excel which allows you just this without writing a single formula, right? So, in this video, I'm going to talk about a very interesting feature in Excel which is subtotals, which allows you instant totaling in just a few clicks. So, let's dive into the data. Now, out here, this is a small data of an electronics store wherein you have got monthly unit sales for different months from April right up to March of the next year, with quarter totals given for each quarter end. Now, we also have different regions, and based on each region, we have the figures of sales presented in front of us. Now, what if I want the subtotal or the totals of each quarter region wise? So, how do I do that? So, this is where subtotal feature comes into play. Now, the subtotal option summarizes your data with a specified calculation. So, you can do sum, average, count, max, mean, etc. on a given category field, right? Now, what it does is Excel cycles through the field or the column where you want the total selected and automatically adds subtotal function each time the value changes. Now, in our case, each time the region changes, it adds the value. But one very important thing that you need to remember is the table should be sorted by the specified column category, right? So, what does it mean? So, what it means in our case is we are doing total based on region, right? So, the category in our case is the region, which is north, south, east and west. You have to make sure that this column or the category column is sorted, right? So, you cannot have one north on row 2 and the next one on row 12 and in between there are south, west and east. That will jumble out the data, right? So, this is one minor drawback of using subtotal. You have to sort the data as per the category. Now, let's get down and see how the subtotal is done. Now, to initiate the subtotal, you have to click anywhere within the data, go up to the data tab on the top of your screen, and within the data tab towards the right, you have got a section for outline, and within outline there is an option for subtotal. So, as you give that a click, the subtotal window opens up in front of you. Now, here there are a few things that you need to note, which is, so the first thing it asks for is the category. So, in our case, we will use each change in region, but you can also use product, month, quarter results and so on. So, it gives you all the column headers. But remember, whatever category you choose has to be sorted first. So, in our case, the region is sorted. We want data for each region. So, each change in region. Now, the next thing that it asks is, what do you want to do? Do you want to do a summation? You want to count the numbers? You want an average, max, mean, product and so on, right? Now, in our case, we want the total quarterly total for each of the region. So, we need the unit totals for each of them. Now, the third thing that it asks for is, where do you want these subtotals to appear? Now, in our case, we want them in each of the quarters. So, I'll check on Q1, next Q2, Q3 and Q4. I do not need the monthly totals, I only want the quarterly totals. Now, one more important thing, there is one checkbox which says replace current subtotal. So, I'll uncheck that. Why? I'll tell you, because if you check that, though we do not have any subtotals out here, but as we go forward, it will remove the grouping of data that is already there in the sheet. Now, if you know how to group a data, fine. If you do not know, then you can check out another video that I have created. I am giving you the link. You can click on that link and go back to that video and see how this grouping was done. Okay. So, if you check this, then what happens is it removes the grouping and does the subtotal. If you uncheck it, then what happens? It does not remove the groupings that you have already done with the data. Now if I give that a click, it gives me the subtotals for all the quarters. So I'll just drag the data. There you go. So now we have got subtotal for each region. So if you see row number 5, it has got the subtotal for north Q1, Q2, Q3, 4, Q4. Similarly for south, it has got the subtotals for all the quarters, right? And to the bottom, if you check row number 18, there's a place for grand totals. Now if you have worked with groupings, you will see that there is one more view up here. The small square buttons that you have. Again, if you have not worked with groupings, go to my video, see how groupings are done. Now this gives you a separate view. So if I click on 3, it gives you the entire picture. If I click on 2, what happens is that it removes the monthly figures and only gives me the quarterly synopsis, right? And if I click on 1, then it removes the region wise figures and gives us only the grand total. So this is how subtotal is done. Isn't it very simple? Now if you have gained some knowledge out of this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more such Excel tips and tricks. If you have any query, put that in the comment section and I would be happy to help you out. See you in the next video.